Hi, this is Joe Rebelo for the Kajukenpo Pai Lum group, and we're here with our next technique in the Bok Leen Pai, or the White Lotus Kenpo system, and White Lotus Family, Bok Leen Pai, and then Bok Leen Pai Chuan Fa, if you're dealing with traditional Chinese, or Bok Leen Pai Kenpo, or again, in both cases, Law of the Fist. We're going to be going on to Hidden Spear. This is used against a rear, right hand, right shoulder grab. Wow. Very interesting attack. We're going to talk a little bit about the attacks and, of course, the defense against that attack. So we'll be right back with Hidden Spear. Okay, let's go on to Hidden Spear. Now, the name of the technique, Hidden Spear. It's called that because when you move to a particular angle you're going to do against this attack, you're actually hiding the spear, which in this case is going to be your leg, executing a kicking maneuver to your opponent's floating rib cage. And the alignment of your opponent's arm in relationship to you will actually hide the kicking technique to your opponent's ribs, as you'll see. Now, before we go on to the defense, I want to talk about the attack. And for a moment, I'm going to ask for my assistant, Mr. Raymond Ramus. Come on over, Raymond. What we're going to talk about right now is the attack. The attack is against a rear, right hand, right shoulder grab. Now what we're going to talk about, we're going to talk about the different types of attacks in regards to attacking someone from the rear. You have a rear, right hand, left shoulder grab. You have a rear, left hand, left shoulder grab. You have a left rear collar grab, a right rear collar grab, a right shoulder grab, and a left hand right shoulder grab. And of course, you've also got a two-hand shoulder grab from the rear as well. In this case, we're dealing with a rear, right hand, right shoulder grab. They say, well, why is it so important with this type of attacks? Turn around, Raymond. In this case, what we're going to do here, if I'm turned facing this way, and Raymond takes his right hand and grabs my right shoulder. Now, at this point, he's restraining me. He's got a couple of things he could do. He could either pull me back and turn me this way. He could simply restrain me. Now, he might have a weapon in his other hand. If he had a knife or gun placed to my back, go ahead, right? I have a problem. If he takes his hand and puts it in like a gun, I have a problem. Now again, this technique doesn't deal with this attack as far as the gun or the knife, but it addresses this issue. The person grabs me here. So what I'm going to do is when someone grabs you, what do? Well, Kenpo law states you pin. So you're going to take your hand and pin. So I'm going to take my hand. You really can't see from this particular angle. I'm going to pin his hand. So let's reverse angles for a moment, Raymond. So again, as I'm standing here, again, Raymond's going to come behind me, grab me with the shoulder. Now, I'm going to take my left hand, I'm going to pin his right hand on my shoulder. I'm going to take my right foot. If I'm facing 12 o'clock, I'm going to step to 1:30, or 1 o'clock or 1:30 on a diagonal angle. And as I step, I'm moving off the line of attack. Notice how that pulls my opponent's body forward. Now, I've seen different versions of it. Some people will grab all the way up at the shoulder. Some people will utilize this in an arm breaking action as you try to grab with this action, to pop his arm. Others will take the hand, release it, and re-grab here. All three are correct in relationship to different variations you can do on this technique. Up. The key ingredient I want to do first and foremost, I want to pin that hand so he can't strike me with it. I also want to utilize that to pull him off balance. So again, as he grabs me, I pin, I step off the line. This is called in American Kenpo purposeful defiance. I'm defying his action on purpose. I then am going to take my other hand, my right hand, and I'm going to circle, drawing and re-grabbing. At this point, I'm going to take my right foot, which the alignment of his arm actually hides my action, execute a side kick to his ribs, and cross and cover out. Now, Depending on the version you may have, again, traditionally, for the most part, I have seen this done against a right hand, right shoulder grab. In one group, Kajukenpo Pai Lum group, I saw them doing it against a two-hand choke. It really doesn't work that well against that. Why? Because if he's grabbing both, actually he grabs me in a choke, okay, and I try to pin this hand, well, guess what? That hand's still there. So even though I've pinned that one, that other hand could still be used. If you do a rear two-hand shoulder grab, same problem. If I go to step, he can pull me back with that hand and go, no, I'm not going to let you do it. So again, this ideally is done against a rear, right hand, right shoulder grab. Now, the idea is when he grabs me here and puts that knife to my back, say, I'm moving off the line of the attack. Now, I'm checking off him striking me with that other hand. That's the key. Grab again. I pin. I'm also shifting the weight onto his legs. By shifting the weight onto his legs, he can't kick with either one of his legs. I then circle over the top. Now again, some people grab at the shoulder, and I'm not too big on that one. Some people grab more toward the elbow, and I'm not too big on that one. The arm break I understand, but really what we're doing here, we're not trying to maintain this. A lot of people try to maintain this, and that's the problem. The key ingredient regarding this, I can't emphasize enough, Kenpo law. When someone grabs you, pin or re-grab. In this case, you're doing both. You're pinning the person initially, stepping with your foot, then turn, re-grab, release, re-grab, side kick. The biggest problem is a lot of Pai Lum practitioners, they try to keep that pin and grab, and they kind of get bunched and stuck in there. So again, pin, pull, re-grab. We're trying to do this. An inward circular parry followed by an outward circular parry into a wrist grab. That's the key. But we're utilizing initially, grab again, a pinning action, pull him off balance, this hand comes over and releases that hand. It knocks that hand away as I grab. Preferably I want to grab at the wrist. And then I execute a side kick to his floating ribs and cross and cover out. Now, one Pai Lum group really has an interesting variation on this one, is they're going to do a right hand grab, but now Raymond, you're going to step forward with your left foot as you grab with your right hand. So he grabs with his right hand, he steps forward with his left foot. Now here's the key. Again, I'm pinning, I step off the line, I re-grab, I kick. Now he's going to follow through with a right kick. Kick, pow, check off, cross and cover out. One particular group shows that, and it can be done that way. And again, remember though, we're moving off on a diagonal. So if he tries to kick me on a straight line, I'm not going to be there, because I've moved off on a diagonal. I'm not moving on a straight line. The whole objective of this action, Raymond, if you'll get right here, watch for my initial footwork. He grabs my shoulder, I pin, I step off the line, diagonally. Now look, if you can see his back foot, then he's not going to be able to do that front kick on a straight line and hit me. I re-grab, side kick, cross and cover out. So that one, like I said, we have to look at the reasons and rationale, but also the reactionary positioning of our opponent. Now, there's some people that will utilize a front kick to the floating rib cage. And again, that's where we're aiming, the floating rib cage. The higher sections of the ribs will be able to resist the action. The lower sections will fold. That's the key. So, once again, hidden spear. Sir? Grab. Pin, circle, I recommend disengage and re-grab, side kick, cross and cover out. We go to James Craven's, we were talking about that, some members of Mr. Craven's group from the CBII, their particular version they have. Grab, sir. Pin, turn, re-grab, front kick to the floating rib cage, cross and cover out. So in either instance, again, the key ingredient is the hidden spear. That spearing action, whether it be the side kick, again, the knife edge of the foot, matching the floating rib cage, or the front snap kick with the ball of foot breaking into the floating rib cage. In either instance, that is your hidden spear. Well, that being said, with Mr. Raymond Ramus, this is Joseph Rebelo for the Kajukenpo Pai Lum system. Right? Until next time, keep training.